It's 9:32 on a Tuesday morning and you stand up from your desk to refill your coffee mug. Before your chair stops moving, you hear it, the soft jingle of tags and rhythmic tap of nails on hardwood. You walk 15 feet to the kitchen counter. Your dog walks 15 feet, stops 3 feet behind you, and sits in the doorway watching. You pour coffee, turn around, and there they are, eyes steady, body relaxed, like this is exactly where they're supposed to be. Most owners assume this means their dog is needy or bored. Some worry it signals separation anxiety. But that explanation misses something fundamental about what is unfolding inside your dog's brain during those quiet moments when they choose to shadow your every move, through rooms that hold nothing interesting for them. Behavioral researchers have spent decades studying this single domestic pattern, a dog that tracks one human from space to space without obvious reward. What they found challenges everything most people believe about why dogs follow. Under this simple behavior is attachment neurochemistry, evolutionary survival wiring, and a genetic mutation that makes your dog fundamentally different from wolves. When your dog abandons a comfortable spot just to watch you stand at the kitchen counter, they are performing a biological function rooted in 15,000 years of coevolution. There is one discovery about what happens in both your brains during these moments that will completely reframe how you see those footsteps behind you. Once you understand what is happening, you will not see your dog the same way again. The needy dog explanation feels intuitive because we project human neediness onto the behavior, but dogs are not people. Your dog's decision to follow you is driven by a specific neurological system researchers call the secure base effect, borrowed from infant attachment theory. If your dog were simply bored, they would follow anyone who moved. If anxious, they would show stress signals, panting, pacing, inability to settle. But most dogs who follow their owners room to room are calm and content. They're not asking for anything, they're just there. Because what behavioral science has documented about this moment is something far more specific than affection. Your dog is using you as a moving safe zone, syncing their internal state to yours and gathering environmental data through you. And it starts with research showing dogs treat humans exactly like human infants treat caregivers. There is one 2017 genetic study that explains why this behavior is literally written into your dog's DNA. But before we get there, we need the foundation. In 2013, researcher Lisa Horn and her team at the University of Vienna published a study in PLOS One that fundamentally changed how scientists understand the dog-human bond. They borrowed the secure base test from developmental psychology and applied it to dogs. Dogs were offered puzzle toys with food under 3 conditions: owner absent, owner present but passive, and owner present and encouraging. What they found was striking. Dogs were significantly more willing to engage with challenging tasks when their owner was simply in the room, even if the owner offered no help or interaction. The mere presence of the owner increased confidence and exploratory behavior. This is the exact psychological mechanism human infants use with caregivers. Wolves do not show this behavior with human handlers, even when raised by humans from birth. Adult wolves don't shadow pack leaders unless there is functional survival reason. Your dog does something wolves don't do. That distinction matters more than almost any other fact in this video. In practical terms, your dog has learned to treat you as a moving safe zone, and the brain that sees you as home base will follow you into rooms where nothing else interesting is happening. Thing number 1, your dog is regulating their nervous system through proximity. Researchers at Linköping University published a study in Scientific Reports in 2019 measuring long-term cortisol levels in dogs and owners using hair samples. Strongly bonded pairs showed significant synchronization of stress hormones over time. When your stress went up, your dog's cortisol increased. When you were calm, they were calm. This synchronization requires proximity to function. Your dog's nervous system uses microcues from your breathing and heart rate to calibrate their own stress response. Think about how your dog seems to know you're upset before you've said a word. That's physiological synchronization happening through proximity. Thing number 2, your dog is monitoring you for environmental intelligence. Your dog doesn't just follow, they're gathering information. You are their primary intelligence source. In wolf packs, members engage in social referencing, using emotional reactions of other pack members to assess safety. When you walk to the window, your dog runs over to look too. They don't know what they're looking for, but understand that if you're investigating, it matters. This intensifies around resource areas like kitchens or when your behavior suggests something might happen. Keys, shoes, bags. Thing number 3. Your dog is managing separation stress proactively. Research by Chiara Palestrini, published in Applied Animal Behavior Science, found that separation distress often begins with pre-departure cues: standing up, moving toward doors, picking up keys. Following you room to room is how your dog monitors the probability you might leave. By staying close, they distinguish between bathroom movements and leaving the house movements. You've probably noticed different following behavior on work mornings versus weekends. They're reading your body language to predict the future. If you're finding this useful, it genuinely helps to leave a like. It tells the algorithm that content like this is worth sharing. Thing number 4. Your dog has a genetic mutation that makes them hypersocial. In 2017, Bridget von Holt published research in Science Advances identifying structural variants on chromosome 6 in domestic dogs completely absent in wolves. These genetic insertions are in the same region associated with Williams-Buren syndrome in humans, characterized by hypersociability and intense drive for human contact. Dogs with more copies showed higher levels of human-directed social behavior. Your dog follows you because they have been genetically altered to seek human proximity, hardwired into their DNA across thousands of generations. There is an archaeological discovery I want to tell you about that reframes everything we've just covered. Thing number 5. Your dog is maintaining proximity regulation. Behavioral scientists use proximity regulation to describe how bonded animals maintain optimal distance from attachment figures. Research from University of Jyväskylä found that dog-owner pairs show heart rate variability synchronization when within close proximity. Their cardiovascular systems mirror each other's rhythms. This breaks down when distance increases beyond 15 to 20 feet for strongly bonded pairs. When you move rooms, your dog follows to maintain the biological connection that keeps their nervous system regulated. 14,000 years ago in Bonn, Germany, someone buried 2 humans and a dog together on a hillside. When veterinarian Luke Janssens re-examined these remains in 2018, he discovered something extraordinary. The dog had survived canine distemper for weeks, a disease that kills wild canids quickly. The animal had been too sick to hunt or guard, offering no practical value. Yet someone fed it by hand, carried it when it couldn't walk, cared for it through suffering. When that dog died, it was positioned between 2 humans, placed so it could remain near them in death. 14,000 years ago, before agriculture or cities, humans were keeping dogs close not for utility, but for the bond itself. The drive to stay near humans, to follow them, to position themselves within reach has been hardwired into dogs since before human civilization began. The von Holt genetic research reveals why your dog is fundamentally different from wolves. The chromosomal region associated with hypersociability in dogs is linked to Williams-Buren syndrome in humans, a condition making people indiscriminately friendly. We essentially bred dogs to have a controlled version of a human social disorder. Wolves raised by humans still don't show the same proximity seeking that even feral dogs display toward humans. Research from Nagasawa at Azabu University showed that when dogs make eye contact with owners, both experience oxytocin spikes. But this doesn't require eye contact. Simply being near their human triggers neurochemical rewards in dogs that wolves don't experience. Following you isn't just emotional comfort, it's biological necessity. Their brain chemistry has been altered across millennia to make your presence the safest, most rewarding place in their world. If your dog has followed you consistently and suddenly stops, pay attention. Sudden changes in proximity seeking can signal pain, cognitive dysfunction, or illness. Colorado State University researchers found 35% of dogs over 8 show cognitive dysfunction, with altered proximity seeking as an early sign. Conversely, if your dog becomes obsessively clingy, unable to settle, panting, pacing, this can signal anxiety disorders or early dementia. In dogs over 7, mention significant behavioral changes to your veterinarian. First, observe the pattern without judgment. Notice when your dog follows and when they don't. Time of day, your stress level, environmental changes. You're learning their specific proximity needs. Create satellite stations, comfortable spots in rooms you use most. Research shows 10 minutes of calm proximity produces measurable cortisol drops in both species. Finally, acknowledge them when they follow. A glance, soft word, or gentle touch tells them, "I see you, you're safe, we're together." So the next time you stand up at 9:32 on Tuesday morning to refill your coffee and hear that familiar jingle of tags, remember this. In a house full of comfortable spots, your dog rejected all of them. Not the soft bed, not the warm window spot, not the couch where they were settled. They chose to follow you into a room where nothing was happening for no reason except you were going there. That sound in the hallway is not neediness. That sound is 15,000 years of coevolution choosing your presence over everything else. If this changed how you see your dog, subscribe to this channel and drop a comment below. I want to know, does your dog follow you everywhere? And if you want to understand what your dog's sleeping position reveals about how safe they feel with you, that is the next video.